What's up, guys? Derek is here, and today, we're gonna watch Zach D. Fields. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Derek. That's my actual name. It's not Mike. That's what people call me because people like calling me Michael, which Mike was short. So yeah, my actual name is Derek, and today we're gonna watch Zach D. Fields. Yeah, this cat posts like 2 shorts a day. So let's go on the shorts and then click on the first one. Here we go.
They loaded thousands of Christmas trees and set sail, even though a dangerous storm was coming.
Bro,
you see, he was known as...
Bro, that's so stupid at the first place. Why would you do that at the first place? Like, it's actually stupid. Like, there's a big fat thunderstorm. You're about to set sail to show, like... Sorry, I was burping a lot, so let's go. So, why would you do that? That's so stupid. Like, you're literally delivering Christmas trees. Wow, there's a freaking thunderstorm that's about to happen. The first thing that's going to happen at the thunderstorm is that the trees are going to burn and they're about to shock you and then you're dead. I guess that's what's going to happen. Let's see.
Captain Santa, and he would set sail across the lake to deliver Christmas trees to waiting families. But this time, snow started falling and the waves rocked the ship. The captain began to panic, raising a distress flag. A rescue boat was launched, but the trees were too heavy and the ship sank before anyone could arrive. Captain Santa drowned along with 9 other crew members. Christmas trees washed ashore for weeks after, and to this day, the Christmas trees still lay at the bottom of Lake Michigan. They loaded thousands.
So if I go in Lake Michigan, I will literally see Christmas trees.
They loaded thousands of
That's crazy.
His plane was shot, and plastic shards from the windshield tore into his eyes. Now, at the hospital, the surgeon noticed something strange. You see, injuries like these...
Yo. Hold on, let's go back to that doctor. Why is bro mewing? This guy is mewing, bro. This video is mewing. Well, bro's checking his eye.
Noticed something strange. You see, injuries like these usually cause swelling as your body tries to get rid of the foreign objects. But the plastic pieces didn't activate his immune system, meaning they could stay in his body for a long time without any harm. Now he figured if he could put this kind of plastic in someone's eyes, he could replace their damaged lens, curing their blindness. And he
What the heck?
eventually invented the first permanent contacts. Now millions of people can see again, all thanks to one pilot's injury.
Hey, W pilot. Hey, bro. Y'all gotta put some clapping emojis in the comments, bro. That's crazy.
His plane was shot, and plastic shards
after a Zach D. Fields video.
The enemy bullet sliced right through his chin strap, knocking the helmet off his head.
Dude, why is there like so many injury videos? Is there like good history that's not causing no harm?
They were trapped in trenches just a few hundred feet apart, fighting each other for weeks on end. He had stopped thinking of them as men. They were just targets in the dark. But one day, for some reason, the gunfire stopped. For the first time in weeks, everything was still. In the quiet, he remembered what day it was. Christmas Eve. He lifted a lantern above the trench and began to sing a Christmas song. Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht. From across the field, another voice joined in. Then more.
Yo, why am I laughing?
Enemy voices on both sides, all singing along. He stood up, climbed out of the trench, and stepped into the battlefield. Slowly, soldiers from both sides started to follow. They met in the middle, shaking hands on the ground right where their fellow soldiers had previously died. Some started sharing chocolate and showing photos of their families. They played football, traded souvenirs, and told each other stories. They even posed for photos together, because for once, they finally saw each other not as enemies, but as fellow men. When dawn broke, the lanterns burned out and orders came down the line. The Christmas truce was over. He returned to his trench, gripping the same rifle, and across the field, the men he had sung with the night before raised their guns too. The enemy.
Alright, so that's how the old Christmas tree song was made. That's cool. But actually crazy. So December 25th, everybody's gonna stop shooting. Alright, so if there's like a war that lasts for 3 years, every time on December 25th, I'd be like, oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. I'm not trying to offend the other soldiers that are dead. I'm not trying to offend none of them. I'm just saying. Or I'm just joking. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking.
If you hold a balloon over a candle, the flame will weaken the rubber and it'll pop instantly.
Oh, wow.
But if you fill the balloon with water and lower it over the flame, the heat goes into the water instead of staying in the rubber. Then the water spreads the heat out before it can build up in one spot, acting like a shield around the rubber. This means the rubber never gets hot enough to melt, so the water-filled balloon does not pop. If you hold a balloon over a candle...
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's so cool. No, please don't.
They hid the poison inside a fake perfume bottle and put it on his door handle to kill him on contact. But the man was quickly taken to the hospital before the poison killed him. So they tossed the bottle into the trash. But months later, a man found it in a donation bin and gave the bottle to his partner. She sprayed it on her wrists and the poison seeped into her skin, eventually shutting down her organs and killing her 8 days later.
Dang.
They hid the poison in...
So how did that poison that was like 13 days later kill someone? Of course, bro. Because why would you put it in the donation bin?
Inside a fake perfume. The animal is skinned and the hide is scraped clean. Next, tree bark is soaked in water until it turns dark. Then the hide is dropped in. The natural acids from the bark slowly bind to the skin, which stops it from decomposing. Over the next few weeks, the hide is moved through stronger solutions, and each new solution binds more acids to the proteins in the skin, which toughens the fibers. At the same time, it dyes the skin, making it darker. And when it's done, the leather is strong, durable, and resistant to rot.
Oh, dang.
The animal is...
So that's how leather is made. You kill dead... When you find dead animals, rip their skin off, or rip their spur off, and then just eat the food, their meat, and then just kaboom. Let it put in like every single month, put it right there, and then kaboom, it's made into leather. Let's go.
His friend shot an arrow at the gas canister on his head. You see, he had just...
Why does he look drunk?
Joined a men's rafting group, and this was part of his initiation. But they were both drunk, and the arrow missed the can, hitting him.
Of course it... Oh, I bite my teeth. Okay, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, of course they're both drunk. I literally saw this guy like, whoa, like both acting like Goofy from Mickey Mouse.
Instead, as it shot through his skull, it somehow missed all major blood vessels before coming out the back. and the man stayed conscious the entire time. Doctors treated him by drilling around the arrowhead and pulling the rest through. And even though he lost his eye, he survived without any brain damage.
Alright.
His friend shot
No brain damage? And you got hit in a boat when you're drunk? That's kind of big fat or I don't know.
caught the shark and tied the line to the back of the boat. And as it began to swim, their boat actually started to move. You see, they had been lost at sea for weeks after their GPS failed. They drank salt water, ate raw fish, and
Oh, salt water? You eating sand? Kind of sand? Dang.
fought to stay alive. And when they finally caught the shark, they rigged it up like an engine. And for 3 days, it dragged their boat across the ocean until it finally died. But in the distance, they saw an island. And after 33 days lost at sea, they finally reached land. They caught the shark and tied the line.
Alright, so W men.
They pulled a live eel out of the man's belly. You see, the man had come in complaining of severe pain. And when doctors pushed on his abdomen, it was rock hard. When they stuck a camera inside, they saw the eel, and it was moving. Now, some say this was part of some strange folk cure, but he never said how it actually got in there. They pulled a live eel out of the man's belly. You see, the man had come in. She would slide into the chair's hollow frame and hidden panels, folding her body tight inside. The magician wheels it out on stage, showing how normal the chair is from all angles. Then he throws the cloth over it and shakes it, letting the woman quickly open the chair and climb out. And just as she gets into position, the magician whips away the cloth, creating the illusion that she appeared from nowhere. She would.
That's a cool illusion. I would even never know. If there's even like lines, I would already know. Like some lines that I see were already cut it.
Santa's sleigh would need to be larger than the Great Pyramid to hold all of the world's presents. You see, there are about 1 billion kids on Earth, and if each one gets around 3 gifts, and each gift weighs about 1 pound, there would be 3 billion pounds of presents in total. His 9 reindeer wouldn't stand a chance with this thing, meaning he
How about Rudolph, bro? Rudolph is built different.
would need over 7 million, and they would have to fly millions of miles per hour just to meet the deadline. That speed would make the reindeer, Santa, and all the presents vaporize.
Oh! Alright, so I'm gonna see like a shooting star. So Santa. So yeah, I'm sorry, kids. Santa is officially dead. I am sorry, bro. He burned it to death. I'm sorry.
Santa slip the nail inside the claw and wedge it in tight. Then line it up to the right place and give it one sharp hit. This will force the nail to stick in the wood. Now, if you just hold the nail in place, you could easily slip and hit your thumb, which can cause serious injuries. But using the claw method means your fingers are nowhere near the nail. And once it's stuck in the wood, you can hammer it the rest of the way. Slip the nail, he would look at the guard's key and instantly memorize the pattern. Then he would file a piece of scrap metal into the exact same shape and let himself out of prison. You see, as an autistic child, he had a special talent for mechanics, and when his father died, he left his tools to him. But his stepmother called the police, since the will hadn't been read yet. He was sentenced to 4 years, but after just a month, he climbed over the razor wire fence and ran. Now, this added more time to his sentence, as well as solitary confinement. But once he was back in his cell, he used a makeshift saw to cut through the bars. Another time, he made a zip gun from a tube of toothpaste, pointing it at the prison guards as he ran. And after 13 escape attempts, his sentence stretched to 34 years, with 27 of those spent in solitary confinement. And even though people have protested, he's still in prison to this day. He would look at the guard's key and instantly memorize the pattern. Then he would file a piece of scrap metal into the exact...
But why in this animation, why the heck doesn't he have prison shirts?
same... When you sit to poop,
Zach, are you serious? We're already started with freaking cheeks in this video.
position actually makes it harder for it to come out. You see, sitting tightens your muscles, which presses on your large intestine, bending it into a kink that jams everything up. But if you use a footstool, your knees rise toward your chest and your muscles relax, mimicking the way our ancestors have squatted to poop for thousands of years. It straightens the kink so your poop slides right out. When you sit to poop, they watched as the plane's engines cut out one by one until all four were dead, leaving it gliding silently at 37,000 feet. You see, a cloud of volcanic ash had been blown high into the sky from an eruption, and since it wasn't a normal cloud, it didn't show up on the plane's radar. When it entered the engines, the heat melted it into glass. That glass clogged the turbines and shut down all four engines. Meaning for 15 minutes, the pilot could only glide as the plane dropped thousands of feet, with everyone on board believing they were going to die. But as the plane dropped lower, it finally left the cloud.
Wait.
Believing they were going to.
This is a man, bro. That's literally a man just doing that. Dear husband, with love, this is the end. The plane is falling, and all I could think of is how I fell for you. The fiery, whatever it says, that knocked out our engines, make those which for you inside my heart.
Die.
This guy, that guy that wrote that is a man. So that I'll just put
They watched as the plane
technical issues. Alright, technical issues.
The plane dropped lower, it finally left the cloud, and the glass began to break off the engines, allowing the pilots to restart all four. The plane landed safely, saving every life on board. They watched as the thread the line through the eye and wrap it around itself 6 times, then pass it back through the loop and pull tight. Now, for a human-sized fish, you would only need a stainless steel hook about 1 inch wide. But for a great white shark, over 2,400 pounds...
Why are we gonna put great white shark in there? What was I? Wait.
Thread the line... Over 2,400 pounds, the hook would have to be around 10 inches of solid steel, and pulling it up would take a machine strong enough to lift a car. Now, if you wanted to catch a megalodon, your hook would be 3 feet tall and 7 inches thick, and you would need a bluefin tuna on the hook as bait. But it would require arm and back muscles at least 10 times wider just to pull it in. Thread the line...
Okay, the buff guy died.
Through the eye and wrap it around itself 6 times. The dragon flew above Disney World and a pilot sat inside. Special controls allowed him to move the head, flap the wings, and swing the tail. A giant fan attached to its back pushed it forward, while a paraglider held it up in the sky. Powerful spotlights focused only on the dragon, but the dark glider was hidden against the night sky, and this made it look like a real flying dragon. A hidden cannon even let it spit fire, but after flying...
Let me guess. The fire is gonna get into the dragon, and the person that's flying is gonna burn and die. Right?
Over the grand opening, it was put in storage and never seen again. The dragon flew
Cause probably one died. That was flying.
Inside the bean, a larva smacks its head against the hollow shell, causing it to twitch and jump. Now, they do this when the beans are placed in the hot sun. You see, without movement, the heat could actually cook them alive. But by banging their heads, the larvae cause the beans to jerk and roll, eventually bouncing out of the sunlight to escape the heat. They can keep doing this for months as needed until they finally transform into a moth and crawl out of the shell. Inside, with a knife, stab the cross.
I don't even understand nothing of that.
With a knife, stab the cross on the lobster's head to kill it. Then poach it in salted water just enough to loosen the meat. After that, snap off the claws at the knuckles. Twist, then pull, and the meat should slide right out. Then use a knife to crack open and empty the other side. Straighten the tail before you twist it clean off. Then squeeze the shell to pop out the juicy meat. Next, remove the 8 legs. Use a rolling pin to squeeze the meat out from each one like toothpaste. And finally, you can enjoy every bit of the lobster's meat. With a knife,
Okay, this isn't called Zach D Films. This is called Zach D Cook. This is Cookie with Zach. No, that's all brand. That's Zach D Films for you. Zach Cookie with Zach.
if you connected enough extension cords to stretch from New York all the way to California, you might think you could charge your phone from
California girl.
across the country. But you would actually need about 2.5 million 6-foot charging cords connected end to end just to make it reach. And because electricity turns into heat as it travels, it slowly loses energy along the way. So by the time it reached your phone, it would have less power than if you just rubbed your hand on a balloon. If you connected enough the lump on her thigh popped as a wire pierced its way out. You see, previously, the woman had a filter put in a large vein years ago. It was supposed to act like a net, catching blood clots before they reached her heart. But it shattered and spread throughout her veins, making a lump in her leg, and even wedging near her spine. Doctors told her they couldn't remove the pieces because of how small they were. So they're still floating in her today, ready to kill her at any moment. The lump on her thigh popped.
We gotta help her, bro. Yo, bro. That's very sad, bro. So that could literally travel all the way to her brain and kill her. Dang, bro. We gotta help her out, bro. That's crazy.
He carved a deep hole inside the center of each eye, leaving a thin rod of stone behind. Now, if he removed too much, it could break and fall off, so this was risky. But if he sculpted the faces like a Greek statue, the eyes would be left blank, making them look lifeless and dull. So by using this technique, sunlight bounced off the shaft, while the rest of the iris was covered by shadows, giving the illusion of a twinkling eye. He carved a deep hole. The truck slammed into him, breaking his ribs and knocking him into a coma. But when
What? This guy drove and then a truck literally hit. He broke his ribs in one of the car seats and literally got in a coma.
he woke up,
Let me hear that
Walt
right
Disney,
again.
the truck slammed into him, breaking his ribs and knocking him into a coma. But
That was a big transaction. Did you see that transaction?
the truck slammed into him, breaking his ribs and knocking him into a coma. But when he woke up, he could only speak Mandarin.
发生了什么？
You see, his brain tried to heal the left half by mostly using the right side. And because English mostly uses the left side, while Mandarin uses both, it forced him to speak Mandarin,
我爱你，Zaki Lianing。
making him remember every single word he learned from high school. Even though he eventually went back to normal, this inspired him to go on a Chinese dating show, where he won a free trip to the Maldives. The truck slammed. Walt Disney took a bite of the hot dog, counted his steps, then tossed the wrapper on the ground, according to the legend. And he watched other guests do the same. When he counted, he found it was about 30 steps before someone would drop their trash. And when he opened Disneyland and installed trash cans, he personally measured out 30 steps between each one. So now, when you walk through a Disney theme park, you'll find a trash can exactly when you need it. Walt Disney took a bite of the hot dog, counted his steps.
Don't be Walt Disney because every time I see trash cans everywhere with 30 steps, that's cool.
She stumbled as she got out of bed, and her 220-pound body fell on top of.
How much burgers and fries and Big Macs and sodas and freaking Baja Blasts did you eat so you could have this much?
She stumbled as she got out of bed, and her
220-pound body. How did you turn it to that big? Bro, if I was that husband, I would already leave her and throw her to a volcano. Because bro, she's bigger than queso.
20-pound body fell on top of her husband, who was lying on the floor beside the mattress. She slid into the gap between the bed and the wall, wedging him underneath her weight. He tried to push himself free, but the pressure on his chest made it impossible.
Bro, is this woman even trying to literally pick herself up?
Possible to breathe. His wife screamed while trying to lift herself up.
That scream sounded like the freaking zombie scream from Roblox. That's what I'm saying. That scream.
She couldn't move. Neighbors rushed in and pulled her off, but her husband had already suffocated.
She's going to the big fat jail for big chunguses.
When the master clock hit 60 seconds, a puff of compressed air would shoot through the underground pipe and travel up to a pump inside the clock. This would inflate it, pushing the minute hand forward. Now, the master clock was actually made of two parts: a super accurate clock and a machine that activated for just 20 seconds every minute. During this time, the tube inside would open and blast compressed air down a network of pipes, powering thousands of clocks throughout Paris. Families could even pay a monthly fee to get one installed inside their home. But in 1910, the machine was destroyed by a flood, stopping every clock in the city. And even though it was fixed, they were soon replaced by electronic clocks. When the master clock hit 60 seconds, a puff of compressed air would shoot through the underground pipe and travel up to a pump inside the clock. Her face slammed into a rock as she slipped, breaking her nose and
She looking like a witch.
injuring her hand and leg. When rescuers arrived, they loaded her into a basket attached to a helicopter. But when the chopper took off, the blades pushed air down toward the woman, and a safety line snapped.
Why would you put a body that's broken, like literally hanging in a helicopter? Like, put it inside the helicopter, bro.
Causing her to spin. She quickly gained speed, turning
Helicopter.
uncontrollably, and the blood rushed to her head and eyes. She spun 175 times over the course of just 40 seconds, until they finally pulled her inside. The woman was dizzy for days after, and she sued the city, winning almost $500,000. Her face slammed into a rock.
Yeah, just put her in the freaking helicopter so she doesn't spin.
Oh my gosh.
Tiny sensors are hidden all over the fabric, and each one tracks the angle and movement of the person's body. All of these signals are sent to a computer, which builds a digital skeleton that moves exactly like the person. Animators can then attach this skeleton to a 3D character, and as the actors move, the joints respond to each signal, allowing actors to become their characters in real time. Check the comments for more info.
So is this how the characters of Just Dance do that? So is that how the Just Dance people dance? They just dance with some dots
The sun, tiny.
and a suit, which they dance. Alright, that's now I know how they dance like that in Just Dance. So every time I play Just Dance, I would already know that.
Sensors, the sun hit the building, then bounced off and melted the car below. You see, the building was designed with a curve, and when the sun was at its highest point, it hit the glass at the perfect angle. When it bounced off, it was focused into a concentrated beam, reaching almost 250 degrees on the ground. This was enough to melt cars and burn doorknobs.
What the fuck?
It even fried an egg, and it only stopped when shade covers were finally installed. The sun hit the They stuck the metal nails into each end of the
Alright, the next video will be the final one, and I'll stop this freaking shooty video.
hot dog and used wires to connect it to a plug in the wall. Once the connection was complete, the electrical currents started flowing into the meat. Now, because hot dogs have water and salt inside, they conduct electricity, which turns into heat as it passes through, cooking the hot dog evenly. Eventually, the water inside transforms into steam, and once there's too little water left to carry the electricity, it turns off, giving you a perfectly cooked hot dog. They set up the camera to keep an eye on their toddler, but he woke up at 2 a.m., screaming and pointing at the camera. At first, his mother thought she was dreaming, but she heard a man's voice softly shushing him through the speaker. Then her husband heard it too. She ran into the toddler's room and froze. She saw the light on the baby monitor was flashing, meaning someone was watching them. You see, the monitor was connected through Wi-Fi, and someone had hacked in just to talk to their son through the camera. They set up.
Alright, so this is what I would do if I was a parent. I'll throw the camera away. That's all, and I'll bring my child sleeping in my bed. Kaboom. Easy. Alright, that's all for this video.